Outbound, there is an accident with a left lane block between 167th to right before Flossmoor Road. The Reagan jam solid eastbound between Route 83 and the Tri-State, and the Veterans jamming up starting at I-55. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next. AM 560 Weather Center forecast, sunny, 87 today. 66 degrees at O'Hare. Your next news update at 8. Chicago's Morning Answer continues next on AM 560 The Answer.
Now, from the Signature Bank Studios, this is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson.
Insert Democrat socialist here.
Runs the Democratic House floor for 30 plus years running. He's promising this and he's stealing that. Where can you get that kind of money? He's using your house like his own piggy bank. You ought to know by now. You can pay off your house here in Illinois, but you can never keep up with the taxes. Oh, how it's always been the plan to have a taxpayer pay, no doubt. Not a matter of if anymore, but when you're moving out.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy, and that theme music means it's time for a weekly conversation with Ted Dabrowski, President of Wirepoints, wirepoints.org, all things Illinois policy related. But before we get to Ted, we do want to update the reactions, the local reactions to the Goshen Chicom EV battery plant that's opening up in Manteno thanks to, I don't know, about $8 billion in tax incentives from federal and state governments. What do the locals think about this? It's going to bring some jobs, and so that's all good news. Everybody must be supportive.
Yeah, no, small-town residents say they'll pass on this, and they don't like the tax incentives, and they don't like the fact that they weren't part of the process.
Why are we getting them such tax cuts? If anything, they're from another country. They should be paying full tax if this is so great.
You know, I guess the biggest part is, why was it kept so secret?
It's nothing short of a kick in the face to ask all of us, the county taxpayers, to help fund a communist, Chinese-owned battery plant.
Most of the jobs that are going to come in here, obviously, are from out of town. I mean, so that's not really creating new jobs for Manteno people.
Our elected officials are supposed to be working for us and protecting our interests.
Is this worth lining your pockets with money?
This is exactly why you didn't publicize it.
If you care about the town and the community and people, this shouldn't be happening.
For more on the latest and greatest with the Manteno EV lithium battery plant, brought to you by the Chinese Communist Party. Ted Dabrowski, thanks for joining us as always. Appreciate it.
Hey, Ted, are you there?
Manteno.
Oh, there's Ted.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can now.
Start over, please.
Now we can.
Now, is that better?
Now we can. Yeah,
Where
there you
are
go.
Okay, well, listen.
All right.
Yeah, hey, it was great to be in Manteno yesterday. I went down there, Mark Glenn and myself, John Klingner from the team. We went down and met all those people that were speaking on that reel, and it was great to be down there. About 150 people got together. The Freedom Caucus from downstate was there, and it was after we get so tired of hearing all the bad stories in Illinois, it was good to see people rise up. It's still not a huge group yet, but it was a good group and a big enough group to make a difference. And these people feel like they're just getting this massive Chinese battery plant just shoved down their throat. Nobody knew anything about it. It was like a huge surprise. No discussion at the city council, just an announcement. And it kind of reminds me of COVID again, where Pritzker and others just have the power to mandate something, and here it comes, and you shut up, just eat it. Too bad.
Well, the thing that's odd about that part of it, which so I can understand the residents' suspicions, is if you're bringing a new business to town that's substantial in size and is going to throw off jobs and tax revenue for the local community and the schools and all that, I mean, it'd be something you'd be like celebrating. It's like, hey, this is coming down the pike. Now let's get everybody revved up to welcome this new business. Let's make a good first impression so that this business doesn't doesn't change its mind and decide to go. The business leaders there don't change their mind and decide to go somewhere else. We want a big business that's going to be a benefit to the community. So it would seem like you'd want to sell them and they'd want to sell you, and this would all be very public because everybody's trying to attract businesses to their community that are beneficial to their community, right?
Yeah, I mean that's right, Dan. You'd think the mayor would be having balloons and parades and all that, and everybody celebrate and everybody buy in, right? But no way. This is all secret. There's concerns that the mayor and others, and it's not proven yet, and we're not clear what's going on. Nobody's clear what's going on, by the way. Whether they've signed non-disclosure agreements that they can't talk about it. The mayor refuses to answer questions about it. I don't know what exactly happened in the meeting last night, but no questions answered. You've seen Pritzker be so defiant and calling everybody xenophobes and MAGA Republicans if you ask any question.
Right.
So it was carnival barkers, grifters. Now you got to add MAGA Republicans.
Yeah, right.
But that's his number one thing, and I think it's it's horrible. I say we. The legislature gave him the power to have this super duper fund that he could use money to entice companies to come in, and he's used it, and nobody knows how he was going to use it. And now, surprise, surprise, he's funding a Chinese company with big CCP ties, and nobody knows what the hell's going on.
So the neighbors can complain all they want, but nothing's going to change, right?
Well, it's hard to say. In Michigan, the same thing is happening. It's played out there. They've been, the public has been quite aggressive pushing back. They've just filed a lawsuit, an environmental lawsuit. And I tell you, one of the big things that I heard from people down there in Manteno was, these battery plants use massive amounts of water, and then that water can be polluted, and nobody understands the environmental risks. And this is a small town, 9,000. It's a really nice town, by the way. I'd never been to Manteno. Really nice. And these are people that want small town living. They don't want some massive factory polluting their waters, and there's risk of fires and things like that. I'm not an expert on those things, but those are the kind of things that should be vetted publicly and let people know what the hell's going on.
Well, and by the way, just on the tax incentives, because I know Manteno and Illinois could chart their own course, or Illinois communities can chart their own course in terms of businesses locating there and so forth. But Jeannie Ives makes this point all the time, reminds us about the EDGE tax credits. So just to be fair, which we try to be, is that the massive tax incentives Pritzker is offering at the state level to complement what the feds are offering is not inconsistent with what previous governors and general assemblies, Democrats and Republicans, have done with the EDGE tax credits for all sorts of businesses playing industrial policy czars.
Yeah, this is the same old thing, and there's the big argument. Well, Texas does it, and everybody else does it, so Illinois has to do it, and that's a big battle. And I'm against this corporate welfare. I can't stand letting guys like Pritzker and it doesn't matter, Republicans too, choose winners and losers. And the good example of this is Rivian. Rivian, we've given them lots of money and support to produce their electric cars in Illinois. I don't know why the government's doing that. We don't know whether Rivian's going to be a winner or not. And the Wall Street Journal had an article, I think it was yesterday, that they lose $33,000 a car or truck that they make right now.
We don't even know. By the way, we don't even know. I mean, I know that there's a big bets being made on lithium, but we don't even know if lithium is really going to be the best battery material for EVs. There's silicone anode batteries that allegedly bring better range. I mean, the technology. There's competition for in the technological space too for winners and losers, and the idea that. Even though I know he's a tech entrepreneur because he said so, that Jelly Belly or anybody else in the state at the political level knows who the winners and losers are going to be in this space is laughable.
Yeah, so let the competition fight it out is what it should be, and it shouldn't be with taxpayer dollars. And so then what makes it worse, right, is that here we are. We're talking about $8 billion. The plant's reportedly going to cost $2 billion. The total federal and state tax subsidies will be over $8 billion. So the question then is, why are we giving so much money now to the Chinese, who are direct competitors on many things? If this is like the lady said on the reel, if this is such a good investment, let China come in and do what they need to do with their own money. Why are we giving them $8 billion, especially when this is critical infrastructure? Batteries can be a big part of military at some point. Why are we giving the money directly? It makes no sense. Nothing about this makes sense except for if you're Pritzker, you're desperate, you couldn't get any investment, you're not creating jobs. If you can buy somebody to come in here, which is what he's done, you can literally pay somebody to come here And that's the only way he could win. That's the only way he could brag about bringing in jobs, because he can't bring them in the real way.
So paying someone to come and paying for people who decide to come and stay, Pritzker's letter to President Biden, prompted by all the turmoil within the Democrat socialist ranks over this, the rank and file people, Democrat voters, but the rank and file nonetheless, not too thrilled with the implications of their policies being visited upon them. And so the Pauls have to step in to try to address the mess they've made. He says 15,000 people so far, $330 million in state funds that have been provided for humanitarian aid, and he needs federal help.
I mean, there's no doubt. Look, he wouldn't say anything if suddenly his own party wasn't, giving him some grief, and he's seeing the Latinos rise up and they're not happy. The blacks, they're rising up, they're not happy. So he had to say something, and I'm sure he made the phone call to Biden and say, hey, listen, I'm going to put out this letter. Really, I'm just asking you for money, and I need to, pretend like we need to spread the pain a little bit, send some of these guys send some of these immigrants to Republican states. But this is just a big request for money, like any other thing he's done. He wants the money. He doesn't really want to change the situation, but he wants the money. He needs the money.
He needs the money to buy off the local communities outside of Chicago to take in some of the migrants.
Yeah, well, that, and he's got to turn around. What he's going to do? He's going to say, "Hey, I've got these new grants for this community and that community to appease the people who are upset." Right? He'll have money for the immigrants, and he'll have money to give to, the black communities who, in my opinion, are right to say, "What the hell's going on? We're prioritizing all these people who are coming in, and you ignore us. Look at the crime. Look at the schools. Look at the mess we're in, and you're just doling out money to people who don't even live here, who are not even from here."
Ted Dabrowski, president of Wirepoints, wirepoints.org, all things Illinois policy related. Ted, thanks as always.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, and he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
It's what Chicago is talking about. It's Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy on AM 560. The Answer.
As you know,